everyone. It's been quite the journey to get here to this night. First things first, welcome everyone in the audience. Lovely seeing you here. For some of you, it might be your first time in Gould Court. Welcome. It's a beautiful building. If you look right behind you, there's a nice fancy set of staircases. It's one of two buildings on campus made entirely out of cement. As a summary of my work, it's a mobile app idea that tries to address food insecurity. Its title, Aroama, is an allusion to the scent that food produces and the comfort that it brings. It's also an allusion to the idea that food doesn't just come out of thin air and you have to venture out for it. It's a solution that addresses three fronts. One of them being maximizing the concept of urban food sharing. The second being trying to reduce food insecurity in communities. Lastly, it also tries to help with climate change and reducing the negative effects that food waste produces. For the past 2.5 years, I have been building up my skills in what's known as UX UI design, or user experience and user interface design. Just the whole part of design for me really feels like home.
Pizza straight from New York.
So, UX UI product design and the issue of food insecurity. For the past 6 months, I combined the two ideas and produced Aroama through tons of research and through the human-centered design and user experience process. And without further ado, let's jump into some of the research that I did. I just realized it's a nice day outside and I feel like writing a longboard, so let's go do that. So there were a lot of things about food insecurity that I didn't know yet. So to build up my foundational knowledge, I decided to do some desk research. Here's what I found out. In America, food insecurity is defined as a lack of access, at times, to enough food for an active, healthy life for all household members. In the US, 38.3 million people lived in food insecure households. In addition, in 2022, food at home and food away from home prices will go up between 5 to 6.5%. Moving on to global statistics, nearly 1 in 3 people in the world, or 2.37 billion people, did not have access to adequate food in 2020. COVID-19 made 295 million people in otherwise stable households food insecure. Lockdowns have obstructed all stages of the food supply chain, which has increased food prices globally, so not just here in America. Malnutrition comes into the play, as with other issues that come with not having enough food on the table. To make matters worse, the supply chain is in shambles due to COVID-19, which makes food availability and affordability big areas of concern on their own. The average American consumer wastes about a pound of food per day, or about 150 pounds per year. Lastly, 31% of Americans struggle to not waste food based on perceptions around food waste. So I was gonna share my user research findings outside, but unfortunately the sun's going down and I'm a bit cold. So I'll see you inside. Gonna stick to the script on this one. Having this foundational knowledge in food security guided my user/customer research. It informed the types of questions I asked and what specific techniques to use. Once I had built up enough desk research, I started to review the user experience design process and choose the right tools going forward before creating a technology solution that would help with food insecurity and the problems mentioned earlier. Based on experience and product design industry standards, design process goes as follows. First, discover. Second, define. Third, design. Fourth, implement. Followed in order, these steps have led to the most successful apps you know of today. For the discover phase, I chose to conduct 6 user interviews, 1 survey, and 3 focus group workshops as the main methods of primary user and customer research for the app I was going to make. This allowed me to gather insights in a matter limited to my own time and resources. After wrapping this up, I moved on to the definition phase, honing down on the specific problems, central themes, and pain points that I need to tackle. From what I found in interviews, focus groups, and in-person surveying, the 2 main reasons why people don't donate food and food goes to waste are because 1, they don't have time, and 2, they don't know where to donate. They also said that if it were easier to donate or get rid of their food in other ways, not limited to pantry items, and was less of a hassle, they definitely would. When asked why people waste food, the most popular responses were 1, they forget they have it. 2nd, it expires before they get to eat it. And 3rd, they cook too much and can't finish it. People also desired to have cheaper or even free alternatives for food to save money, limiting themselves not only to pantries or grocery stores, clearance sections, but to other alternatives as well, like the precedents we talked about earlier. User perceptions around food also suggested that when it comes to expenses, where food comes from, or food waste, people generally think about trustworthiness and reliability of food, especially if it comes from others and not a licensed restaurant. After obtaining these facts, I had to inform and ask myself what technological solution is most appropriate to use. In this case, I'm limited to online digital platforms such as a website or a mobile app for reach, visibility, and greater range of use cases. After careful and thoughtful analysis in the definition phase, it was time to begin designing, finally. The first thing I did was sit down and sketch out what I thought the app should look like and how it should function through wireframes first, prioritizing features based on the pain points and themes I found earlier. In the process, I was having trouble organizing information on the screens and deciding what functionalities should go in each of them. So I turned to creating various initial user flows to better visualize how a user would do certain actions and the steps they would take in different ways. After some quick feedback, I then supplemented this with an information hierarchy diagram to better organize what belongs where and if my design decisions made sense on a taxonomical level. I then moved on to digitizing my wireframes in greater detail after I felt confident enough in its flow and function. At this stage, I knew simplicity was key. The most popular apps out there have simple wire flows to complete an action, and I wanted to emulate this simplicity. After creating the wireframes and feeling sure about its usability and form, I've moved on to create the user interface through the lens of branding and visual design. I wanted the app to have a clean and simple look that was easy to use, but also fun and engaging, so people would want to use it. Since I was designing the app for a range of people across all ages and demographics, I had to ensure usability and accessibility at all points in the design process. This meant I paid careful attention to typographic hierarchies and their sizes, using proper color contrasts, adhering to mobile app user experience norms, properly choosing legible iconography, and maintaining screen consistency based on branding, style, and feel. After a few user tests and validation, Aroama is finally complete, aka more final work in progress. The Aroama app will be easy to use and will make it simple for people to donate food. The app will also have a built-in map feature that will show users where the nearest food bank or pantry is and where active urban food shares in the area are and what they're offering. The app will also have a blog section where people can learn more about food insecurity, how to reduce their food waste, and also start easy recipes to make with extra food pantry staples. Centered around principles of community and environment, Aroama will help to reduce food waste, feed whoever needs food on the table quickly, and bring communities otherwise unconnected together. Its impact can be limitless, especially in high-density areas such as urban cities or even universities across the country. Now, I do acknowledge that research into feasibility and urban food sharing regulations need to be conducted before taking this app to market. However, I strongly believe that Aroama has the potential to make a significant difference to get our own wasted food back out there to those who need it most. As for next steps, I'd like to see where I could take this idea and where it can take off in the entrepreneurial world. I would need to conduct proper competitive analyses, formulating a value proposition that positions my idea in the market in a way that differentiates from and adds more value to customers in society in the problem space. In addition, conducting a proper market analysis and identifying who my competitors' customers are would help me identify who my target customers are, which in turn leads to crafting more comprehensive customer/user personas, not solely informed on my own user research, but by full analysis on people, a specific consumer base, and their respective psychological states and behaviors. Doing this would also imply I also do target market research and write a business plan, lead a business modeling canvas, and analyzing the industry with things such as Porter's 5 forces. Phew. All this to mean I eventually want this to be a startup idea that's profitable but also good for society, to be a for-profit company with B Corp and Social Purpose Corp certifications. So, the development of an app or a business isn't the only answer to address food insecurity. Actively going out of your way to make donations, cooking or buying groceries with intention, volunteering at your local food bank, and rethinking the way you shop and dine are all the ways you can help. Aroama, like everything, is a tool. Use it for what it is, but know you need other tools to really craft good for the world. Thanks, everyone, for coming today and watching. It's been really fun to go on this journey, both by myself and most especially with my peers, and I wish you all a good night.